My name is Ann Plancher. I am currently with Toro College, and I am the clinical site coordinator for the residency program that's in partnership with US Prep and the New York City Department of Ed Teaching Academy. One of the strategies that I used in establishing myself as a clinical site coordinator was to really get to know the schools that were in the partnership. I found that really getting to know the school became very successful in building relationships. It was really important to me that we had a great relationship, a relationship where we could have difficult conversations if we needed to, where we could be frank and honest, and where we could be very dedicated to the work. The power of knowing the school really well was helping the administration see that as I integrated the work into the school, this wasn't something that Toro wanted or that the Department of Education's Teaching Academy wanted. This was something the school wanted for a much bigger purpose, to ensure that anyone who sits before students is going to ensure that they provide the best opportunity possible for learning. As I engaged in this work, I met with the principals and the leadership teams, and I would share with them how the work that we were doing was connected and aligned with their mission and their vision. And it actually created a very strong bond. And the most wonderful outcome of the work is that the school has not only embraced the work and owns the work, but it has become the foundation for them to create not only a clinical residency, but to create a teacher pipeline so that they would have teachers ready and able on day one to not only enter the classroom, but to enter the classroom and do what is right and just for the diverse learners that they are serving.
Hello, all. My name is Max Chang. I am a program manager with the Office of Teacher Recruitment and Quality here in New York City's Department of Education. I'm delighted to share a bit of my experiences building relationships, particularly from a district perspective as a partner. When asked what techniques have really been helpful for me, I have to naturally just think about just interpersonal relationships in general. Outside of any professional setting, and in thinking about what really helps me build relationships, I think the major technique, hopefully it becomes just a natural thing I do, is this idea of listening first. Whenever I work with a partner, whether it be professional or personal, my hope and intent is always to go in with a listening ear, to gain insight to who they are as a person, the sorts of values, the sorts of priorities they may hold, and hopefully in an authentic way that doesn't even think about the motives behind that. Really, it's just exciting to get to learn about people, and I think the best way for me to do that is through listening. And so with that mindset, there are actions that kind of come from that. And I think about the current time we're in, I think a lot of this rings true to just the broader work of equity. And so one of those first things is in listening first. I found that checking in is crucial, right? In terms of building relationships, one of the first things I do every time I meet someone is just ask how they are. You know, what's on their mind, what's the most pressing topic that is showing up consistently. Those sorts of questions as by way of starting any sort of connection tends to just open up a whole range of conversations, whether it be for work, whether it be for personal lives, whether it be for the current climate we're in. And naturally, I think a lot of those pieces, because we are in the business of like really supporting new educators make change in classrooms, tends to connect on a lot of different things, right? The personal tends to become the professional or the political, however you want to name it. And so that idea of checking in is so crucial. I think another piece for me in this notion of, again, of listening first is how do you show up? When I hear folks needing something, and sometimes they'll say it explicitly, like, hey, Max, can you show up to a presentation we're doing with new teacher candidates to talk about the program, just to be a face in the room from the district? When I hear that, it is a simple request, but for me, it is one, both exciting to be in those settings, but two, if I commit to wanting to create this broader change, those little acts of showing up are so crucial.
Hi, everyone. My name is Susie Walker. I am a site coordinator for the University of Houston. The strategy I want to talk to you about is, I'm just going to call it getting to know you. One of the things I want to do with my student teachers, each one of them individually, is get to know each one of them and what their passions are, what their strengths are, where they come from. And I also want to help them weave that passion or that background or that strength into their instruction. For example, I may get to know a student teacher, and through talking about background, I find out that music has been an important part of her life. So I'm going to keep that in mind as I work with her, and as I look at lessons, I'm going to think about it. How can I encourage her to integrate music into this lesson and what she's doing with her students? And I find that this not only helps me to know them, but it helps them to love their instruction more, and it helps their students to know more about them as individuals. So the example about music is one that I remember working with a student on. And I actually was surprised when I would read through her lesson plans the first couple times that I wasn't seeing music, and there were places where it could be easily put in there. So she and I worked on some of her lesson plans and found ways to integrate music, and I think it really brought joy to her, and it gave her a chance to share that passion that she had with her students. That's what I like to do with my students. I like to get to know them. Who are they? What makes them special as an individual? What path have they taken to get where they are? What passions do they have? And how can they bring that passion into their instruction to better connect with their own students and maybe help their students find a passion that they have?
Mentor-teacher trainings were very crucial to me. It was a place where I was able to build relationships. I was able to strengthen those relationships. The mentor teachers were able to share their challenges, their strengths. I followed up on them. So it was not only a conversation, just stay there. That conversation happened in those sessions. Then I followed up on them and brought that conversation back in the other mentor-teacher training session, so that I was really listening, and I was really trying to bring ideas to make it work. They were also helping each other. So the conversation, the questions were provided in a way that that we started giving suggestions to each others to make it work. And I made this connection between mentor teachers and my seminar class. And I really use myself as a hub in terms of making that communication really clear, expectations really clear, and made that bridge as positive as possible.